Criminals can get their hands on your personal information in many different ways, and one of the most common are credit card skimmers. Over the past few months, these tiny information-stealing devices have been popping up throughout our region on ATMs and gas pumps in St. Clair, Plains Township, Scranton, and most recently West Mahanoy Township. State Trooper Mark Keyes says they're more prevalent in the southeastern part of the state near Philadelphia, but the trend is starting to travel north.
People who are familiar with this technology can access a lot of accounts very quickly, remotely. They don't have to be here when the crime is being committed, and they return later to gather the information. It's easy to use someone's PIN number and account information to access a lot of different accounts.
So, how do they work? We asked Dr. Phil Polstra, an associate professor of digital forensics at Bloomsburg University and an expert on hacking.
The way that these generally work is that people make something that serves as a cover. So here we have a little ATM machine, and you can see here's the slot where you insert your card. And what they'll do is they will 3D print or buy a little cover that looks just like one of these covers, and it has a skimmer inside. So what happens is when you insert your card passes through the skimmer, it records your information, and then it goes into the ATM machine in this case.
And as technology continues to advance, criminals can attach a skimmer and then steal your information from miles away without ever returning to the gas pump or ATM.
There's different levels of sophistication. Some of the less sophisticated ones will store your information on a little SD card. Some of the more sophisticated ones will actually wirelessly transmit that information to someone nearby.
Scammers can even record your PIN number if you're not careful.
In particular, when you go to the gas station, often those credit card readers have the keypad right below the reader for the card. And what is very common is for people to also install a small camera in there, and it will record your PIN as you enter it. So now they have your credit card number and your PIN.
Now identity thieves could go on a shopping spree or rack up a few unwelcome expenses on your credit card. But Chris Scalise, the president of Fortune Financial Group in Dunmore, says it could spiral into a bigger problem.
When you think about it, just having charges on your credit card, that's the least of your worries, because all the credit card companies these days are very good protecting you from fraud. And if you attest that you didn't make those charges, they're going to take them off your card. It's probably happened to every one of us. But if it's not detected, and then these thieves go and they damage your credit report, then that's where it's a long-term problem, then, where it could take months or even years to fix.
This all seems scary, but fortunately there are measures you can take to protect yourself right off the bat.
Before you use your card to pay at the pump, look at the card reader and the keypad to make sure everything looks normal. If you're not sure, head over to the next pump to compare. If it all looks okay, then you can start filling up your tank.
When you're using the keypad, shield the numbers with your hand as you type them in. And don't be afraid to get physical either.
So what I like to do is I just give it a little bit of a tug. You don't have to get really violent with it. Don't break anything. But if it's stuck on there with double stick tape, it's something that can come off.
It's also on store owners to keep an eye on their devices. The Exxon gas station on Route 61 in St. Clair, Schuylkill County was hit by skimmers this spring. The owner declined to go on camera, but he tells Fox 56 that older pumps are easier targets for scammers, so he is speeding up the process of installing new pumps to hopefully stop them in their tracks.
Check your credit card often. Anything that's suspicious, you want to investigate it further, because a lot of times what these thieves do is they start with a very small transaction, maybe a couple dollars, but if they get away with that small transaction, then it kind of emboldens them to go on to bigger things. So,
Jay Jarvis, Fox 56 News, First at 10.